Alright. Titivilus is a medium fiend with 20 AC, 17 hit dice, and a constitution bonus of 17 as well. We have 22 wisdom, 26 charisma, because we'll probably need the charisma. And let's see here, should be a CR 16. Oof. Moving into the skills section, we have, let's see here, Dex, Con, Wisdom, and Charisma saves. So we have 4 saving throws for a bonus of +2 AC. We have some skills. We can skip those. Damage resistances for cold, bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, and all that stuff. We also have damage immunities to fire and poison, but because it's only 2 conditions, I'm going to skip that for now. But we do get a 25% bonus on the hit points from the resistances. And with all those out of the way, let's skip down into the monster traits, which there's a decent amount. We've got some innate spellcasting here, and we have a whole bunch in the at-will stuff. Let's see, anything worth noting? Alright, so for the time being, I'm going to skip over innate spellcasting because there's none that are direct damage, and a lot of stuff that is giving effective damage. So we have legendary resistance, which is standard for these higher level monsters, especially those with legendary actions. 3 giving it plus 90 effective hit points, and then the duo, the dynamic duo here, of magic resistance as well for more effective AC. Then we also have magic weapons, which just lets the fiend bypass resistances for magic and whatnot. And then we have regeneration of 10 hit points per turn, so we'll have additional 30 for the calculations. Ventriloquism. Whenever Titivilus speaks, he can choose a point within 60 feet. And the rest doesn't matter. There's no effect on ventriloquism for Titivilus here. So with all that out of the way, let's take a look at the combat workspace here and see what we get for Titivilus's actions and legendary actions. So first off, we have its +9 to hit. And we probably have some DC stuff later on if we need to factor that in as well. Now Titivilus has a multi-attack of 1 sword attack and uses his frightful word once. Okay. So we have a silver sword. So we'll say 9.5 plus 16.5 necrotic damage. If the target is a creature, its hit point maximum is reduced by an amount equal to half the necrotic damage as well. Alright, so we need to factor in some effective damage around here as well. And the silver sword will deal half the necrotic, so we'll suggest it's 8 effective damage as well, dealing roughly 34 damage every time the sword hits. After that, we have Frightful Word, and let's take a look at this one. 1 creature he can see is within 10 feet. They must succeed a DC 21 Wisdom save or become frightened of him for 1 minute. And the thing is that we're going to be doing that every turn. Fear is a 3rd level spell, and 3rd level spells are on average about 30 damage per round. So in theory, Frightful Word could be dealing 30 effective damage, which, on top of that, for some other actions, Titivilus can do teleport, and can teleport with anything up to 120 feet away, which would be more effective damage per round. But at the moment, I'm going to skip over that. And then we have Twisting Words. Titivilus targets 1 creature he can see within 60 feet. Target needs to succeed a charisma save or become charmed for 1 minute. I'm not going to really worry about attacks 3 and 4 because they're not really doing anything at the moment. And I'm just going to go with this as the multi-attack. Now that we have the multi-attack more or less figured out at about 64 damage per round, including the effective damage. Legendary action 1 is Assault, and Titivilus attacks with his silver sword or uses his frightful word. In theory, we would want to use the silver sword more than the frightful word because it's actually doing some damage. And that's 2 actions, and then what else could we do for 1 action? Well, 1 action would be Corrupting Guidance. Titivilus uses Twisting Words. Alternatively, he can target 1 creature charmed by this. So Corrupting Guidance could be doing... it's all that potential for effective damage. Let's skip over that for now and just see what we have for the direct damage stuff. Another one could be the teleport. Alright, let's see what happens here. This is going to be a weird one for sure. So round 1 in combat would be the multi-attack and then the legendary action for assault. And we get a total of 98 effective damage. That needs to be multiplied or done a couple times, so this would be every round of combat. Alright, so because I gave Frightful Word 30 effective damage, and the multi-attacks and really not worrying about anything else, it looks like Titivilus is at least a CR16. If we take, let's see here, teleport. What kind of teleport does that? We could say, what, like Dimension Door? So Dimension Door would be roughly 28 effective damage because it's just a spell doing that. And Twisting Words is Charm, so let's see here. And, duh. Charm Person would be a first level spell, so Charm Person doesn't really do anything worthwhile. Charm Person is only worth 10 effective damage. So yeah, if we add in the effective damage for the lair action on top of the assault for 2 points to attack, and then also potentially doing in the teleport effective damage and moving about, we might see a CR19 technically. So Titivilus is at least a CR16, but because of the teleport and really jumping around the room and messing with players, we could possibly see a CR19. It's really hard to say here, one way or the other. But if anything, it's at least even rated.